I did a crazy thing recently. I watched all of the Star Trek franchise, all of it, in air date order in under a year. So I want to go over what all that encompasses, what I thought before I went in, what I think now that I ended, how long it took me, all that good stuff. Let's talk about it. So going into this, I knew that I wanted to watch this in air date order. That is the order that these episodes and films were presented to the world. Now there's a little bit of problems there because there's multiple series on the air at the same time at certain points, and I wanted to know exactly the date that each episode came out, and I found this very useful list online. I will put in the description or post or whatever so you guys can find. It's very helpful because sometimes you do have to jump between series to watch them in air date order, but this guide was like invaluable to me. I use it every single day. I actually got an app so I can track what episodes I'm on and to keep me on pace. I was able to finish it in under a year, which is insane because it averages to roughly about 3 episodes or films a day. I've done nothing but watch Star Trek for an entire year. So here's what I thought about it. So originally I was planning to do this between both Star Trek Vegas conventions. I wanted to knock everything out because I hadn't seen Enterprise, and I was talking to one of the actors from Enterprise. He told me I should check it out. I said, I don't want to start there. I want to start in air date order. And he's like, that's not possible to do in a year. And I was like, challenge accepted. So I started this on August 14th. It's when I actually started tracking it. I started a few days earlier. I'm not sure exactly which one, but August 14th all the way to July 27th of 2020, I watched all of it. So the grand list is 9 TV shows and 13 films. When I started this, Picard wasn't even on the air, so that had to get tacked onto the list halfway through my viewing. So since the series and the films were released all mixed together, I'm going to start with series first. And we start off with the original series. Then we have the animated series. Then we have The Next Generation. Then we have DS9. Then we have Voyager. Then we have Enterprise. Then we have Discovery. Then we have Short Treks, and now Picard. Lower Decks is actually starting tomorrow, and I have yet to see a trailer, so I'm going to watch a trailer of it at the end of this total video, give my reaction on it. I don't really know much about it. I haven't heard great things from my friends that have seen it, but I want to go in unbiased and check it out. We also have on the horizon Strange New Worlds, which will be coming out soon, which is Pike's series, and I heard rumors about Philippa Georgiou spinoff. I don't know if that's actually happening or not, but of those series, let's go point by point. So the original series only has 3 seasons. It went 80 episodes, but back then their commercial breaks were weird, so each episode was about 50 minutes, if not a little bit more. Before I started this marathon, I had seen episodes on and off throughout my life, but no really coherent order because it was always catching reruns from childhood to now. So I didn't really have a super clear picture of exactly the timeline and the worlds and the intricacies of the show, but I was aware of it. The animated series I had never seen going into this, and I'm a big fan of like Hanna-Barbera style Saturday morning cartoons, so I was excited to get into it, but other than that, I had no kind of preconceived notions going in. TNG I was very familiar with because my mother loved it, and it was on in reruns all the time in our house. It still is. I'll go visit, and my dad will be watching it sometimes. Again, I mean, from the lens of being a kid when it came out, I've seen a lot of the episodes, but I didn't really have a structural order of them because in syndication on different channels, they were kind of mixed up. So I knew the world a lot more. I knew the characters a lot more, but I didn't know the finer points of intergalactic diplomacy. DS9 I really didn't know a whole lot about going into. I'd seen maybe 3 full episodes in my life, and it never really grabbed me. Growing up, my mom wasn't that into it, so it wasn't on in the house a lot when I was younger. But I knew it existed, and I knew some people absolutely loved it where some people didn't. Then we go to Star Trek Voyager, which is my baby. It is one of my absolutely favorite shows. I've seen all of it multiple times, and I knew that so well. That's part of the reason why I wanted to go back from the beginning and just see the entire chronological order of the franchise to appreciate it so much more. You know, there's so much more that even during this watch through when I did with Voyager that I was like, oh my gosh, that's why this, and this, because I had the context proper. So Voyager, I was excited to get back to because I've seen it so many times and I wanted to see it again. Enterprise. Now here is the one going into it. I believed a lot of haters and I didn't think was going to be any good. I remember when it came on right after Voyager ended, and I was still in mourning that Voyager had ended, and I was sad about that, and I didn't really want to get back into a Trek, and one that visually looked so different and was set in such an earlier time frame. So going into this marathon, I was actually dreading getting to the Enterprise part because I just didn't want to sit through it. Then Discovery. I've heard a lot about Discovery. I have a lot of friends that isn't the same style and taste as me that really didn't like it, even though they love the Star Trek franchise. So going into that, I was also kind of dreading having to get to the Discovery part because I was like, it just seems like an awful lot of drama. And it was behind a paywall, so I was kind of not looking forward to getting to that point. Short treks, I didn't even know existed when I first started this marathon. And I didn't know until a while into the marathon that it even existed. It's just like 4 episodes a season, little mini seasons of little mini episodes. So I had no preconceived notions about that either. And Picard, I was insanely looking forward to, so I actually watched when it first aired midway through my marathon, and then I watched it again at the end, and I was excited for that one. So before I embarked on this marathon, I thought it would be fun to make a list of what my predicted favorite shows would be and in what order. So I predicted that Voyager would be at the top, then TNG, then TOS, then DS9, then TAS, and then Enterprise. I figured that would be the order. And then Discovery at the end. I figured I probably wouldn't like that one that much. That was what I had preconceived. Here's what actually changed. I just watched everything in the Star Trek franchise in under a year. That's been a trip. Dude, a year, it's over. It's a lot of stuff. So after watching everything, the results are in, and my favorite is still Voyager. But number 2 place changed, and I never thought it would. My number 2 favorite Trek show is Enterprise. I never saw that coming.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Let me tell you, this series, I am ashamed I listened to the haters because I loved it. I freaking loved it. And I think when it came out, I wasn't ready for it. And I was kind of, again, in like the Voyager, post-Voyager mourning period, I never gave it a chance. And I only saw like a couple episodes on TV when I think my mom tried to watch some and then didn't get into it. All these years later, Mom and I sat down, we binged Enterprise so fast, and we 100% loved it. I have given my friend Ari so much crap because he said it's his favorite Trek, and I'm like, you're out of your mind. I see what he means. Then the order goes back to similar what I thought, TNG, TOS, except, honest to God, I think the animated series in DS9 might be tied for that slot after that because I was not feeling DS9 like I thought I might. And I know it makes people sad and mad, but it didn't do it for me. I'm sorry. Picard and short treks also are kind of tied, which is not a great thing that they're tied so low, but what are you gonna do? And then dead last, Discovery. I don't want to make this a video about railing against Discovery, so I'm just not going to say much more than Discovery. Okay, and the films, honestly, they didn't do it for me that much, and I watched them not one after another, but I watched 13 films in the span of a year while also watching the series. So in my mind, the films kind of are like a mini-series of feature-length episodes, if that makes sense. Because honestly, they kind of, I'm viewing them as a whole as opposed to independent films. It's just in my brain, that's how I'm seeing them. So the films go The Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, The Final Frontier, The Undiscovered Country, Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis, and then we go into the 2009 J.J. Abrams Kelvin timeline, which is Star Trek, then Into Darkness, then Beyond. I don't have a whole lot to say about the films other than First Contact was my favorite. Absolutely love it. Give me some of that time travel. Nom nom nom. No, I'm literally wearing, everything I'm wearing is time travel related. I love it. Least favorite was Nemesis because Nemesis. And then the last 3 films of the Kelvin timeline, I really just view them as like a big budget fan film because they're an alternate timeline and reality. So what are you gonna do about that? Viewing them as big budget fan films, I can appreciate them, but I don't know. They just don't. They're in the main canon really. And one thing I actually didn't like about Picard is they felt the need to follow these new films by having Romulus be destroyed and then that whole be a big plot thing for Picard. I didn't think we needed that. I wanted to see Picard. I didn't want to see Picard wrapped up in a world of like remake movies. But coming out the other end of this, which I think in total, if you added up all of the hours, is over 30 days worth of watching just Star Trek, I would do it again. I would do it, the next time I do it, I would do it in chronological order, but it's hard to do now because new series are coming out that are prequels, so you can't really start a chronological order thing when new stuff's constantly coming out. But I would also insanely encourage people to do this. If you are a Star Trek fan, if you've already seen all of them, it's just so cool to get it laid out in a timeline and have all of the context. If you've casually watched Star Trek, or like me, which if you had one series that was absolutely your favorite and you didn't know a lot about the other ones, I so recommend doing this because this is a huge, mind-bogglingly huge universe that they've created, and it's amazing to see it how they wanted it to be presented and in the order they wanted it to be presented in. So I encourage you all, set aside a year. You don't have to do it in a year. You could do it in 2 or 3 years. It's easy. Just put it on every now and then. Look at the list in my description, follow it, easy peasy. But now, like I said I would, I am going to watch the trailer of Lower Decks, the animated series. I don't want to go into this with preconceived notions, but it's very hard when I've had so many friends call me and be like, this doesn't look good. I want to go into it as open as possible because I had so many friends who told me that Enterprise wasn't good, and I believed it for almost 20 years. So let's see what we got with the Lower Decks. So I got this pin from Star Trek Vegas last year promoting Lower Decks, and then it's like you never heard anything about the show, and all of a sudden they're announcing, oh, it's coming out, like in a couple days. All right, I gotta hunker. I got my Star Trek Voyager cup. Yeah, be jealous. Let's watch this.
Captain's log. Stardate 57436.2. First contact is a delicate, high-stakes operation of diplomacy. One must be ready for anything. Are you pretending to do a captain's log? We're all supposed to keep logs. Okay.
I can't believe it! This is the greatest ship I've ever seen!
Hey, you.
That's my pin.
Pump this. Don't pass out.
Sorry.
I'm good at exploring strange new worlds.
And we're here?
No, we're actually way down here.
Keep it moving, Lower Decks. Next!
My senior staff are always up for a challenge.
Nothing like a cold beer after a smooth second contact.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah!
Okay, that was dumb.
Ooh, this is the new shuttle with the blast shield! The blast
Stop it.
shield
No,
is the blast
it works.
shield. And
Yeah,
it
it
comes
works.
down and it goes up. Blast shield!
Spaceship. Nobody is dying from a spear wound. Space, the funnest frontier. Long-range sensors have located a very sexy. Oh no! Definitely no to this, and also that. You almost phasered me.
Calm down. It's set to it was set to stun.
Okay. I mean, like, if you're Star Trek is no stranger to comedy. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So, like, the only way you could make a series that is heightening the goofy and the less structured and straight-laced would have to be a Lower Decks type thing. So that makes sense. That works out for me. But then it also feels like Rick and Morty or like a Family Guy humor. You know, it's funny, with the Orville, I remember going in and being like, why do I want to watch a Star Trek Family Guy type show, basically? And I was surprised at how much I actually fell in love with the Orville. So, I just feel like it could get off the rails stupid very quickly and not in a fun way. I don't know how to feel about it. Well, the series comes out tomorrow, so I guess I could watch it and find out. Anyway, I think I have rambled enough. I've got some questions, though. Are any of you Star Trek people? What is your favorite series? Have you ever attempted a full franchise watch through? And if you've done it, have you done it the correct way of air date order? Or have you done it by series, which I don't think is the correct way based on what I said earlier? Who's your captain? Because I'm telling you right now, Voyager was the first series that myself was like, I need to watch this. This is my show. That's my captain. It wasn't just something on in the background that my parents were watching. It was something I sought out. So Voyager's my jam. What's all yours is jams? Let me know below if there's anything you guys want to talk about, any Trek talk, what your thoughts on the new series are, or what your expectations for the new series are. Let me know. Down below, drop a comment, and don't forget to do the things, rate, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys later. Until next time.